Welcome to the Dynasty Dads podcast. Football, rankings, debates, dad stuff with your host, Justin Williams and Matt Renshaw.
And welcome everyone to the Week 8 edition of the Dynasty Dads podcast. I am your host, Justin Clipping Williams, and with me as always, my good friend Matt Renshaw. Matt, how are you?
Clipping, is that still a penalty?
Might be. Doesn't matter. Running out of penalties over here.
I figured you would.
Yep. Getting close. It's only like Week 8.
Yeah.
So
There's got to be more. Face mask, holding.
Yeah.
You already used roughing the passer twice.
Matt, I have a ton of news and notes. We got to do that. We got to talk about my wager of the week and how I am just in fuego.
Yeah.
We got to do your Renegades.
Right.
We got to talk about Scott Fishbowl, right? So let's just get right into it. Let's talk family stories. Let's get it out of the way.
What do you got?
Well, whoa.
I
get to
start every
this.
week. So.
You're right. Okay. Wow, we're switching it up.
Yeah.
Okay, wasn't really expecting that. Let's see. What did we do? We had a busy week. Carson finished out football season. Did all right.
How many touchdowns did he throw?
He threw one touchdown. But yeah, overall the season was kind of a mixed bag for him. You know, he didn't really want to play quarterback. He played quarterback. Coach let him play wide receiver in the second half.
Did you tell him that's where all the money is?
There's no money to be made
Well,
here.
I mean, eventually it's where the money is.
But now he's all amped up. Basketball starts tomorrow, actually, for practice, and then we have a game on Saturday. So
Whoa.
he's jacked
Is
up.
he like a post guard, point guard, stretch four? Like, what is the guy?
He's at that age right now where you just can't really tell what he is. He loves to shoot the ball, but he's really, really good at defense. Like any sport we've ever had him in, he loves to play defense.
Gary Payton.
He loves to be like physical with other kids and take the ball. But he really enjoys shooting in basketball. So I don't know. We're still kind of figuring it out. And at this age group, there's not really much of a difference in size yet. So they're not really sure what
You don't have any 6'4", 10-year-olds.
Yeah, like what their prototype is and how they're built. But other than that, we went to the pumpkin patch.
I love the pumpkin patch.
Yeah. See, our local pumpkin patch hasn't changed since I was a kid.
Yeah.
I'm a man. I'm 30.
You're not 30 yet.
I'm gonna be 30. And that's my problem. We had to walk about, I'm guessing, what felt like 2 miles from where we parked. And that's carrying a baby. That sucks. And
you don't have like one of those.
We have a stroller,
carriers?
but I wanted to complain about something. So we had that, and then it's kind of not the best weather, and my sinuses. Oh my god, my sinuses.
You're allergic to everything.
Oh my god.
Did you take your Benadryl beforehand? So no.
Zyrtec, thank you very much.
Okay.
So there's that, and then it's just like you see these long lines in these parking lots filled with cars.
Yeah.
It takes us half an hour just to get into the parking lot. That's how big of lines are on weekends.
I don't get it. I don't like pumpkin patches.
Of all the money you're making, I know it's a short amount of time. I know it's
a month.
I know you only get a month to do it. But of all the money you're making, I still see the same damn haunted house. And you know which one I'm talking about.
I do. Well, I haven't been to that pumpkin patch, and my wife knows that I'm not a big pumpkin patch fan. Like, I'll go, but I'm probably going to make some comments along the way.
The wife and I have an understanding. Once a year for me. I'll do it once a year. I do it only for the kids till the kids are old enough to where they know it's lame. Where they know it's lame, that's when we stop. If she wants to do it a second time or third time, whatever, no way. They're offering up a season pass at this pumpkin patch. I'm like, what?
I think my sister has one.
I was like, who wants to come here more than once in like a month? It doesn't make sense. Unless you're watching kids, then it makes sense. You got to bring other kids. I get it, but no family buys that like they buy the zoo.
No, we have a zoo pass. I love going to the zoo.
Absolutely, zoo pass is great. Yeah. That's all year round, baby.
Yeah, I don't get. I'll go, but. Like,
unless you really like pumpkin pie.
Well, and it's expensive. The one you're talking about is expensive.
Dude, I bought a turkey leg. It was $10.
Yeah. Well, and tickets in are like, what, 12, 15 bucks?
$22.
A piece?
A piece.
Oh, my.
It cost me $22 to be sniffly for the rest of the day.
It cost you $32 for your chicken leg or your turkey leg and to get into the park.
And to be annoyed and miss football. Mm-hmm. I paid $32 for that. Yeah.
Good job.
It sucks.
My mother-in-law and my wife and the kids went to one. I don't know the name of it. They got a bunch of pumpkins, like probably.
Well, that's a good start.
Right. But like probably 20 little gourd pumpkins or whatever, and smaller pumpkins, and then like probably 8 to 10 big ones for like $12.
See,
and there was no like entry fee into the pumpkin patch.
I will give it the one that we're talking about. I'm not going to say it on the air,
Right?
but it's such a big place.
Mhm.
It's the
Got a
biggest
big rocking chair.
Yeah, a huge the line for the freaking rocking chair. I'm not kidding you. Was unbelievable.
Everyone on social media has to have a rocking chair picture.
They have to get this picture,
Yeah.
and I'm like, what are we doing? Why would you stand in line for that?
I don't know.
Makes no sense. And it's right up at the front too, which makes it worse.
We need to invest in a large rocking chair and put it out in front of our houses.
Exactly. I was gonna say you and I need to build. Well, I can't build anything, but we need to buy a giant rocking chair or pay somebody to do it, and then just charge like $1.
A buck a pick.
Yeah, and if we could buy like property right next to the pumpkin patch and then just do it,
Right.
we'd be. Oh my god.
Yeah. The
Oh my
Dynasty Dads pumpkin patch rocking chair.
Yeah. I'm serious. Any business we ever start, it needs to start with Dynasty Dads. Dynasty Dads real estate, Dynasty Dads rocking chair,
There you go.
Dynasty Dads cookies. I don't know.
I don't bake.
Neither do I.
I make a mean microwave pretzel.
Yes. I believe it.
Yeah.
What do you got?
Family story. So let's see. Well, my shout out to my wife. She threw me a surprise 30th birthday party.
Hey, happy
That was-
birthday.
I'm not.
You
30.
know what I mean.
Yeah. Well, we got another 6 days for that, so I'm not gonna. Yeah. But let's see. She had me surprised. I had no idea, and I feel bad because I'm usually one to like ruin stuff like that.
Oh, you ruin things on a daily basis.
I know. So like I know when like I'll pick up a Christmas present box and go, oh, I know exactly what this is, or just different things.
Or like when you walk into a room and say, "Hey, everybody," like that kind of stuff.
No.
Anyway, sorry.
No. So that was cool. Got me went a few days early. Let's see. We started something at the house. Like my wife, me, we're not on our cell phones from like 5:30 to 7. Yeah. It's been a little bit of an adjustment for me, but we played like it was like the other night. My youngest got she has a table, like a picnic table that she sets up in the living room, and she was pretending to do like swimming dives off of it, and then my youngest followed suit, and it was cute that they played together. Then my oldest, I do this thing where my oldest knows if I don't know how to explain it, like you do the finger, like come here.
Yeah.
Okay, so like she knows.
You curl the finger.
Yeah,
Hey,
come here.
Yeah.
So she knows if I do that, like she better come here. So if that comes out, she knows to come to me. So I'm sitting in the living room, and she goes, "Daddy, come here." And I was like, hold on a second. And she goes, "Daddy." And she did the finger thing to me. And I was like, got it. So I got up and we played together, but it was kind of cute. I was like, all right, she's starting to figure things out and make connections. And so, yeah.
Yeah, Carly got a bag of like these Skull and Bones Cheetos. They only do them for Halloween. It's like the white cheddar stuff. It's awful. Oh. Yeah, I know. Well, she's really into them. And so
she doesn't have taste buds yet.
Exactly. So I'm sitting at the table and I'm getting the show ready or whatever. And I had the bag open next to me because she was having a few. And so she figured out when she walks up, and she knows sign language, and so she does the more symbol, for which thank God for her mom, but she does the more symbol, and then I'm like, okay, here, so I give her a Cheeto, and then she doesn't know how to like really say many words, so she's like says, which I'm assuming is like thank you, and then she just walks away like all giddy, eats it, and then she comes back and she just stands there and just does more. I'm like, okay, it's like a begging dog, but it's so cute.
Thank you's like from chin down.
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
No, I know. We don't,
You don't have sign language for that one?
Well, because no, not really, because it's like whatever manners are at this point.
Yeah,
just kinda whatever. We want to know what she wants.
Yeah. More milk. Eat is an easy one.
Yeah, she does eat. Oh my God, she eats. All right.
News and notes.
We did it. News and notes time, man. We got, oh, jeez. I'm looking at this list, dude. We got a ton. So first of all, we should probably start off with the teams on a bye this week are the Falcons, the Chargers, the Cowboys, the Titans. That's a really, really big deal. Those teams all have playmakers on them, especially fantasy-relevant guys, but especially at running back. That means no Zeke, no Tevin Coleman, No Melvin Gordon, no Deion Lewis, no Ito Smith, no Derrick Henry. None of those guys are going to be on your roster this
Derrick
week.
Henry, come on.
Well, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
There were desperate teams that are still hanging on to that guy. So they're all gone.
Somebody should have known that Deion Lewis would score better than Derrick Henry. You know, there's got to be somebody out there that saw that coming.
I can't think of a couple of guys.
I don't know.
There's a ton of big stories. I don't even really know where to start.
Well, we got to start with the big news. There's been some trades, man. You got to hit those.
Yeah,
That's always the biggest thing.
Amari Cooper is a Cowboy, baby. Right now.
Yeah. No.
Okay. Raiders gained a first-round draft pick in return for the 24-year-old wide receiver. There is a lot to digest here.
Yeah.
Cooper was the 4th overall pick in 2015 and has been very hit and miss this season, especially.
More miss than hit.
2 games over 100 yards receiving and 4 games with 2 or less catches. Matt, is his stock up, down, or just kind of stayed the same?
We talked off air. Like, I don't think it's... he goes to a situation where there's no other wide receiver options, but there weren't really many other wide receiver options in Oakland.
Jordy Nelson says hello.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So, for me, it gets a little bump because obviously, if you're going to trade a first round pick for a guy, you're gonna put some effort into him producing for you. But I don't think it's as up as everyone says it is.
I disagree. I think it is up. He's still young enough to where we could see this dude completely break out, make a real big name for himself. The talent is there. I think we both agree on that. He's obviously a talented wide receiver.
Yes. Here's my question though: Is he Sammy Watkins 2.0?
No, Sammy Watkins,
talented guy that never produces, that gets traded multiple times. He'll be a free agent at 26.
No, I don't think so. I really don't. In his first 2 years in Oakland, 2015, 2016,
1,000 yards.
He got over 130 targets. 72 catches his rookie season, 83 his second. Both of those years were over 1,000 yards receiving. He had 6 touchdowns one year, 5 the next. I feel like the talent is really there, and he's just kind of fallen off, but I think so is the rest of that team.
Who, Oakland?
Oakland.
Yeah, John Gruden has done a real number on that roster.
Well, and I mean, I want to say we kind of predicted this coming because he's getting back into it. He was going to completely flip that team. There's no other organization now that does things the way that John Gruden's probably used to.
Yeah.
So I think it was predictable that roster was going to have a lot of turnover. Getting rid of Khalil Mack was probably the worst decision ever, and it's going to go down in history books as one of those worst decisions. But I don't know if it's going to be the same kind of impact on his legacy as Amari. But boy, I like him as a Cowboy. I really do.
I can't say I'm disappointed that Dallas traded for him. There was an obvious need for a wide receiver one. I'm surprised that they gave up a first. From what I've read, the only other offers that were coming in were seconds. Dallas' second should be higher than Phillies or I think the Colts were the other team. So right around there. I don't like what they paid, but I like that he's on the team.
I have no problem with what they paid. It was an obvious need. You got a wide receiver that's, I think, worth that. I really, and I'm not a Cowboys guy. I would be excited if I was a Cowboys fan. Excited.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that you're not glowing. I'm surprised you're not wearing a Cowboy hat.
No.
You didn't go out and buy your Spurs.
I didn't buy an Amari Cooper jersey.
I don't get it. I think it's great. But
here's probably why. Because I remember when we traded for Mike Williams from Detroit, and we gave up a first and a third and a fifth.
Oh, come on.
What do you mean, come on?
It's a whole nother... You can't...
It's very similar. A wide receiver with 2 years left on their deal.
Different player, different time. You can't do that.
I'm not saying they're the same player. I'm just saying that's probably why I'm so, okay, let's see how it plays out. Because I've seen how trading for a wide receiver one works.
Nah.
You got Mike Williams. We had Terrence Williams.
What's this do to guys like Michael Gallup? Michael Gallup finally saw a season high in targets. I think snaps, actually. It was snaps, I want to say.
85%, yeah.
Yeah, and I just think that, does this stunt his growth a little bit?
No, he's still a wide receiver, too.
Okay.
Beasley's the 3.
I was going to say, they don't run 3 wide receiver sets there all the time, do they?
They need to, because who's their tight end?
Very true.
Jeff Swaim has an MCL injury, so... Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think they go 3 wide receiver sets. Mari's obviously 1, Gallup's 2, Beasley's 3, Hearns comes in as the 4, possibly. Deontay Thompson. They cut Bryce Butler. Yeah.
if you ask me, his value got higher. Amari Cooper, pronouns, pal.
Yeah.
His value went up, going from Derek Carr and the Raiders to Dak Prescott and the Cowboys. And I don't think it's a big increase as far as like value of your quarterback.
Right.
But I just like that offense a lot better.
You like Dallas's offense a lot better?
Than Oakland right now? Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
It's a good trade for Oakland because it's obvious what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
They're trying to get the guys that they want in, and really, it's job security for Gruden. Not that he has that issue right now, but
10-year, $100 million deal.
Yeah, and then for the Cowboys, I love it too because you got what you needed. That is what they needed. They needed a big playmaking wide receiver, and we might not see it for a couple weeks.
Right.
We really might not.
Yeah.
But this is the Dynasty Dads podcast. We talk Dynasty stuff.
Yeah.
Are you trying to get Amari Cooper?
I am, but I don't like the price that's out there right now. I try to get him a league. We talked. The guy wants a very likely, very high 101 type first-round pick for Amari Cooper, and I'm not going to pay that.
You need to pay an early to mid-first.
I would pay a mid-first. I would pay 104, 105 first. I'm not paying 101 first.
The problem is where we're at in the season. You can't really predict that for the most part.
You're right.
But if you knew for a fact you had a 104, first of all, I don't know if I would trade away Amari Cooper for that, but I would pay that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like I think in most situations I would pay that to get him.
I would give that up.
This year's draft.
I would give that up in like a young player, like a 104 and a Mike Williams. Okay.
Interesting.
101? No. I'm keeping 101.
You know, I just think it's a hell of a trade. I think it's a blockbuster trade. I think it affects a ton of leagues, a ton of teams.
He could turn out, is a scary word, but he could turn out to be somebody that comes in and wins some leagues and helps teams.
He is capable of being a top 10 wide receiver next year in redrafts and dynasty leagues.
Whoa.
He is capable of it. He's still young. He's very talented.
Okay, so wait, how's the argument for Josh Gordon any different than for
We've seen Josh Gordon screw up off the field a ton of times. Josh Gordon is a head case. Josh Gordon is a talented dude.
Yeah.
He's a physical specimen. I get it.
When Gordon plays, he's a top option.
That's the problem.
I know, but Amari has played, and he's not a top option.
Isn't Josh Gordon like one strike away from just being out of the NFL completely?
Yeah.
So there's that. It's not the same situation. They're all these dudes are absolute athletes, monster athletes. You can't take that away from them.
Right.
Amari Cooper is in a better situation than Josh Gordon is, if you ask me.
Oh, Dak Prescott as a quarterback or Tom Brady?
Tom Brady 1 year, because I really think we're about at the end of that Tom Brady era.
Yeah.
We have maybe 2 seasons tops with Tom Brady.
That's okay.
Dak Prescott is fine. He's a fine quarterback. I don't think he's an MVP of any year, but he's good. Amari Cooper is good. He's definitely an upgrade over everything that they had. I do think this kind of hurts Gallup a tad, but not by a ton. And it really, if you ask me, this proves that Allen Hurns is awful.
Yeah,
this is all the proof you need.
This is your hot take.
If Amari Cooper comes in here and does a little something, just a little bit, we all know that Allen Hurns is awful. I think most people know it now, but if you can't do anything as Allen Hurns and Amari Cooper comes in and just blows it up, you're awful. We know that.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
Yeah. He's probably their wide receiver 4 right now.
Okay, one last question, we'll move on.
Okay.
What is Amari Cooper the rest of the way? Is he a wide receiver 1 to you?
No.
So you're telling me you'd pay a mid first, but he's not a wide receiver 1?
I'd pay a mid first because I cannot take the fandom out of some of my fantasy leagues. I like the opportunity. I don't think he's a wide receiver 1 the rest of the way, no.
A wide receiver 2 then?
I would say low end 2, high end 3.
Wow.
That's why I don't have that. Like, that's why I'm not comfortable paying what the price is.
That is harsh.
What's he at right now? He's wide receiver, 44?
Yeah, but I mean, the last 2 games, he's only had 1 target in Oakland. Like, they were obviously,
and
they were working on something.
He's going to some crazy, amazing offense that just feeds their wide receivers. Oh, wait, no, he's not.
But he's going to get opportunity there. This is the same thing as Josh Gordon.
He got opportunities in Oakland. He should have had opportunities. He was a wide receiver 1.
I'm just saying this year we haven't really had to see it because for the most part, they stashed him away. They were trying to trade him.
Here's the thing that I think I like the most. Dallas's playbook is run slants and in routes, so it's not going to take him long to figure that playbook out.
You would hope not. You would hope not.
So
This is only the second, guys. This is only the second team Amari Cooper's been on the NFL.
yeah,
Like we really don't know what he's capable of yet. His ceiling might be higher than a 1,200-yard, 6-touchdown season.
it might be, but it might not be. His
Of course
floor
it
could be a
might
lot
not be.
lower than that.
Not, I just don't think so in that Dallas
He
offense.
had what, one big game last year? One game.
I don't know, man. I like it a lot, and I'm
I've
not
liked
one
Cooper.
to say that.
I like Cooper. I've liked him. I mean, I've wanted. He's 24. He's still young. Like, there's all the positive things about it, but I don't know. I don't trust Scott Linehan. I think this move shows, like, he was like, we can win without a true wide receiver one, and they went and traded for one, and they went, yeah, you're done after this year, buddy.
Yeah, I
See ya.
I
That
agree
didn't
with that.
work.
all
So
right.
let's go to this trade.
From bad to worse, Carlos Hyde is a Jaguar.
Yep.
Only cost Jacksonville a 5th rounder.
Yep.
Jamal Charles was cut this week just to make room. Let's break down the Jags first. What does this say to you about Big Leonard Fournette? And then let's move on to what does this say about his injury?
Honestly, it says more to me about Jamal Charles than anything.
Jamal Charles is done.
Yeah, they cut him.
I think that's fair.
They said, we can get a decent running back for a 5th-round pick. Let's do it. We think we're a competitive team this year if our quarterback can figure out how to not turn the ball over. TJ Yeldon's done well. Lan will come back.
See, that was something to me, and we're going to move on a little bit, and we're going to talk about TJ Yeldon, but specifically, what does this say to you about Leonard Fournette? Does this show that they're worried about that injury? Does this show that maybe they don't believe in Leonard Fournette as much?
No. They didn't trade. They traded a 5th.
Just saying.
They got a guy on a
They
one-year
made it
deal.
way more crowded back there.
Yeah.
Carlos Hyde's going to get touches.
You think?
Yeah, I do.
You don't think he's just insurance in case Leonard Fournette just can't get healthy and gets hurt again?
I just don't know why you give up, because even though it's just a 5th-round draft pick to us,
Yeah.
those 5th-round picks mean something to those NFL GMs.
Yeah.
And so I think, because that's where you feel your needs there, or that's where you get your depth. I mean, those
Yeah.
5th-round picks are
They
kind
just
of a
got
big
depth.
deal. I just don't know. I feel like it says something here, and we're going to figure that out with time, but maybe this is something about TJ Yeldon. Maybe they don't think Yeldon's a bell cow kind of guy. He can't handle it alone.
Maybe. Yeldon's a free agent at the end of the year, so's Hyde, so that backfield's going to be a lot more of an open competition next year.
Okay, well, let's take the other side. The Browns.
Give me some Chubb. I love Nick Chubb. Love Nick Chubb.
The more I looked at the numbers and the more I looked at the plays last week, I kind of begin to side with you. I think this is the breakout
Yes.
for Nick Chubb. Man, it didn't take long for them to realize he's pretty talented, huh?
Yeah, well, about 6 weeks too long.
Yeah, Brown's going to Brown.
Hey, they're the only team. They got, 4 overtime games this year, and they've won 1.
Yeah. Getting rid of that Carlos Hyde guy, I think, is going to really help out Duke Johnson. I think Duke Johnson's going to get a little bit more involved.
Did
now.
Hyde catch a lot of passes, though?
No, not really, but I think that they're going to trust Duke Johnson. It's the Browns. They're not going to throw Chubb. I just don't see them giving Chubb 20 carries.
You don't see...
I just don't see
their head
it.
coach is a moron.
I completely agree with you. I feel like they're going to trust Duke Johnson a little bit more than they are Chubb. At least early, next couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Chubb, hey,
Chubb took the control of the game. He was the running back to own.
you can't get him. I know you can't get him now.
No.
But, man, if he struggles the first couple of weeks or if they are giving the ball to Duke Johnson, now's the time to buy in on
Yeah.
Chubb. I mean,
Yeah.
if you can get him, go ahead. But
I saw somebody said they offered a very early, probably 101 first-round pick for Chubb and got declined.
yeah, I mean, you never know.
I would take it, but
ESPN's Adam Schefter, you might have heard of him. He reports that Sony Michel has avoided structural damage and is currently week to week. Whew. The Patriots do play in Buffalo this week, but that should be a cakewalk. There's really not enough incentive to throw Sony out there, in my opinion. But I was wrong last week when I said the same thing about Calvin Ridley.
yeah.
So Sony's having one hell of a year. Disappointed everybody this week, but he's going to be just fine. If he ends up being active for the game against the Bills, are you going to start him?
I'd like James White.
Yeah, I was going to say I'd rather start James White this week if you have both of them for some reason. Let's see what else we got. 3 is the magic number for Todd Gurley for the 3rd time this season. Dude scored 3 touchdowns in a game. Unbelievable. 14 total on the season. He is now tied with Priest Holmes for most touchdowns in 7 weeks of an NFL season. Matt, who holds the season-long record for rushing touchdowns in the NFL?
Season-long?
Season-long rushing touchdowns.
Is it Emmett?
It's not Emmett.
It's not Barry?
It's not Barry.
LT?
LaDainian Tomlinson.
LT.
Yep, you nailed it. And I didn't, for whatever reason, write down the number, but I want to say it was like 28. Something crazy.
Cool.
Astronomical. Oh, what else we got? Josh Allen's out again. Week 8. It's against the Pats, like we talked about. And Derek Anderson is back.
Yeah, he looked great.
Hashtag DadStat. Over the last 10 seasons, Anderson has a 17-28 touchdown to interception ratio. Start the Patriots, every single one of them.
And their defense.
Yeah, no, I'm serious, because that defense will not be on the field long. So, yeah, start every Patriot you have.
Yeah.
If you were planning on catching some cooties this week, you'll have to wait. NFL.com's Ian Rappaport confirms that Kiki Cooties... Sorry, it's a funny name. Hamstring aggravation is not considered serious, but that he's expected to miss week 8.
Mm-hmm. So they got 2 wide receivers that get hurt a lot now.
Yeah, Will Fuller and Kiki.
Yeah. Fuller blew up.
It's looking all the more likely that Albert Wilson will be missing a good amount of time with his hip injury.
He went to the IR.
Yeah, it is sad to see. He was off to a career start, actually. Already had a career high in touchdowns for the season. Matt, with Kenny Stills out and Brock Osweiler at the helm, Devontae Parker will somehow have another opportunity to disappoint everyone.
I expect them to feature him a lot this weekend.
Wow.
Here's why. They want to trade him. They want to trade him. So they're going to be like, here's what he can do. Let's feed him the ball.
The exact opposite of the Amari Cooper treatment.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, if Amari goes for a first.
Devontae Parker is probably worth a 7th and a sandwich. Parker's awful.
Awful's strong.
Well,
Josh Gordon went for a 5th
fits.
and he didn't play it down.
I'm
not saying you're far off, but I don't understand. He was a 9th overall pick. You're right. He hasn't had any 1,000-yard seasons, but
so Ryan Tannehill's already been ruled out.
Yeah.
Brocktober is going to continue, Matt.
Well, at least for another week or two.
The Dolphins play the Texans Thursday night in what might be Osweiler's revenge game.
Oh.
There you go. And Lamar Miller, going against the Dolphins.
Yeah.
A lot of revenge
But
here.
the Dolphins didn't trade him.
Nah, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
This is for making me look bad. Touchdown. This is for making me look terrible. Touchdown.
Who made him look terrible? He made him look terrible.
I'm sure he's blaming other people.
He got paid. He should be thankful.
But he could have been a superstar, Matt, if he would have stayed with the Denver Broncos.
That's right. John Gruden really knows how to evaluate quarterbacks. You should be thankful that he didn't resign there.
Speaking of bad quarterback play, the Jags are starting Bortles week 8, even though he was benched last week and looked like doo-doo.
Yeah.
Obviously a short leash, and owners should be worried as the Jags face the Eagles in London.
Yeah.
You never know what happens in these London games. Dude could get pulled early.
Yeah, except the Jags owner owns that stadium in London. Like, he wants to put in a good...
Well,
he
then
wants them to look good.
Put in a good quarterback was what you were about to say. I was like, well...
Let's play this game.
Okay.
You talked earlier about Derek Carr. Did Derek Carr get traded?
I don't think he does, because he gets paid, like we talked about, over $20 million every season from here on out. He has like another 3 or 4 years.
But they can cut him after next year and be fine.
See, and I don't understand how that works.
That's why you're not an NFL GM. It's okay.
Well, it's because I don't have all the information in front of me. But from what I can see, he gets paid between 19 and 21 million every season from here on out.
Yeah, but they can cut him next year with say $15 million against the cap.
Yeah.
So
I think you'd rather trade him.
If you're the Jags,
he has trade value. I don't know why you'd cut him.
If you're the Jags, do you trade for Carr?
Yeah.
You would trade for Carr if you're the.
I don't mind
Jaguars.
it if you like him. I don't mind it. I don't think Derek Carr's that bad. I just don't think he's ever going to win anybody a Super Bowl.
I think the Giants should trade for Derek Carr.
Yeah, I think the Giants are at that stage, though, where they're like, you know what? We're bad. We should probably just get our own guy.
But you mean like they could have done this year?
Well, I mean, they got Barkley, so
They're paying
it worked
Barkley top 5 running back money.
and Barkley's performing as a top 5 running back.
Right.
So what's your point?
My point, you don't draft, you can draft a quarterback at 2 and pay him bottom half of the league quarterback money, or you can draft a running back at 2 and pay him top 5 overall running back money. Why wouldn't you take the quarterback on the cheaper deal and then go sign somebody?
You know, I'm not with you on that one.
Do you think they made the right call taking Barkley?
Yeah, Barkley is probably a once in a generation like talent. Dude,
Really?
he's off to an amazing start. He accounts for what was it, 70% of their yards.
So
or
was
something
Zeke.
like that?
So was Hunt.
They're not. They didn't do what Barkley's doing.
Zeke
Barkley
Elliott led the league in rushing as a
No.
rookie.
They said it on the game. Whatever. Gosh, dang it. He was like a ridiculous amount of the offensive yards so far in the season for the Giants were with Barkley.
Yeah.
Hold on. Wait.
Okay.
There's only 2 other rookie running backs that have ever done that, and it was like, I can't remember exactly who it was, so I don't want to say the wrong names, but there was 2 Hall of Fame running backs. Like,
You're ready to put him in the hall?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying he's doing things that Hall of Fame running backs did their rookie year.
That's because
you're not comparing him. You can't compare him to Zeke.
I'm not comparing him to Zeke. That's because their quarterback can't throw the ball downfield.
I'm not. I was the guy last year that said when they benched Eli, they should have stuck with
So what
him.
I'm saying is it's opportunity. If you put any rookie running back there and that he gets fed that much.
No, don't even go there, Matt. Don't even say that. How dare you?
You think Barkley's putting up these numbers on the Browns? If the Browns would have taken him, you think he's leading the league in rushing and doing all this other stuff that he's doing in New York?
I'm not convinced that he's not.
No, I am. He's not doing that.
You're kind of taking both sides of your own argument here.
They shouldn't have taken him that high. They should have taken a quarterback as the Giants.
Matt, he was a once in a lifetime chance player, dude. He's ridiculous. He's even fantasy wise. If you want to just talk fantasy, he's top 5.
You're right.
We talked
I'm not
about last
arguing
week.
that. I'm talking from a pay standpoint. You could have drafted any other running back, fed him this much, and been fine.
Dude's a game changer.
They need
What's
a
that
quarterback.
worth?
They're
to you?
one in what? 4?
From a business standpoint, it makes sense. From a business standpoint, it makes sense. He sells tickets. He sells jerseys. He sells merch. Right.
You're paying him top 5 at the position,
and
yes, right.
You're going to get that return on that investment. No. Yes, you do.
Okay.
Are you kidding me? These guys own NFL teams for a reason.
You, Mr. Running backs suck. Get rid of them after 3 years. Be done with them.
But
you're saying they should invest in this one?
There are some that will make you money.
Like Zeke.
Running backs in general, that position is a very dime a dozen position. Right? I'm with you. That's where I stand.
Yeah.
But there are some that are money-making guys, and they're performing well on the field. Alvin Kamara, Zeke.
Kamara was a what round pick?
Kamara was, what, second? Third?
Second.
Okay.
Second. No, he was a third. I think he was a third.
Possibly. Either way. Zeke, I think, was worth it. How is what the Cowboys did with Zeke a good idea?
I'm not arguing that it's a great idea.
It worked out.
Did it? How many playoff games have they won with Zeke? How many playoff games have the Giants?
Are you going to blame them on Ezekiel Elliott? Is Ezekiel Elliott the reason why they haven't won playoff games? Because if it's not, then that does not have anything to do with his performance. He's not the reason. Zeke's a top 5 running back.
Yes.
Look, there's got Le'Veon Bell. Look at Le'Veon Bell.
Second round pick.
I'm just saying, but they paid him, dude. I mean, I know it was like it was. I know
that's why he's there right now.
I'm just saying
him.
They paid him. I can't. I just don't understand what you're saying.
I don't think
so. They should have took a quarterback.
Yes.
Who, by the way, the rookie quarterbacks aren't doing that hot.
Sam Darnold would have been the guy I would have taken
instead of Barkley, a guy that's clearly carried that offense and is considered the locker room leader, while Eli Manning and Odell Beckham Jr. are in the same locker room.
They would have more wins
considered the leader
if they wouldn't have taken Barkley. Yes.
I don't know about that, man. I just don't.
Huh?
Have you watched him play yet?
Yes,
have you seen any? I'm just asking.
He's a big play guy. He's not a grinder.
No, he doesn't need to be.
Because he has big. Okay.
He doesn't need. Le'Veon Bell wasn't a grinder.
Le'Veon Bell carries the ball 30 times a game. How are you going to call him not a grinder?
He touches the ball 30 times a game. 30 times a game.
Does Barkley touch the ball 30 times a game?
I without looking at his stats, I'm willing to bet you he's already pretty damn close.
They made the wrong call. They should have got their quarterback last year. That's what I'm saying.
Well, last year they drafted, I think, was it Wayne Gallman last year? Or was that the year before?
It wasn't last year. Last year was Barkley.
The
You mean last draft? The previous draft. I don't know.
I'm just saying, they've messed up on running back before. That was the Giants, right? Was Wayne Gallman? See, I don't even know what team Wayne Gallman was on.
Wayne Gallman was on the Giants. You were a big
goodness.
Gallman fan. No, wait, you were a... Who was your guy? Paulie Perkins.
Yeah, Paul Perkins. Thank you. I forgot all about him. Paul Perkins. There you go.
That was
There's
your
a
hot take
name.
last year.
My goodness, he's not even in the league anymore, I bet you.
I think he's somewhere.
Speaking of not being in the league, are we about to witness the end of an era?
Yep.
Marshawn Lynch.
He done.
Landed on the IR with a groin injury, which is somewhat fitting. 32 years old. $6 million this season. Nice payday. He's going to be a free agent. This is the last year of his contract. I mean, I think it was a 1 year or 2 year deal. So now we're left with Doug Martin, Jalen Richard, and DeAndre Washington. They're still hanging around. Matt, I want you to take one the rest of the way. Doug Martin, Jalen, or DeAndre Washington?
Martin.
Give me Richard.
Why are we on the opposite sides of this? I usually take the running back that catches balls, and you usually don't.
I think it's because Doug Martin hurt me so bad last year.
he's gonna get carries. Like he
should get carries.
He's gonna get fed. He's gonna get opportunities. He's an RB2 based on opportunities.
Oh, that's strong because we've seen Doug Martin with opportunities recently.
I'm not saying he's gonna do anything, but if you look at the opportunities he's gonna get, that's RB2 opportunities that they'll get. I don't think he's producing as an RB2 level. He's just gonna get those opportunities.
Listen, if Doug Martin's out there on your waiver wire, you should have him on your roster.
Yeah.
I said it last week. I think you need to go get Richard. If Richard's out there, you need to go get him.
Yeah.
He's an excellent pass catcher from out of the backfield. DeAndre Washington's proven he's nothing right now. He's not worth any value. So, yeah, go get Jalen, go get Doug Martin, and hopefully you get something, but I don't think you're going to get a lot out of either one of them.
Yeah.
If you had to pick one for the rest of your dynasty career, including Marshawn Lynch, which one are you picking?
The rest of my dynasty career? Who's the youngest?
I believe that would be DeAndre Washington.
That one.
You'd rather get like 5 years of mediocrity out of Washington than possibly one more year out of Doug Martin or Lynch?
Yeah.
Okay. I was curious where you side with that.
Yeah, Lynch isn't playing this year. Lynch may play next year.
He might for a team. Somebody might bring him on. Yeah. I think he's going to be that guy where he doesn't get signed on to anywhere until like training camp.
Yeah.
Like late training camp. Little bit of IDP news. Star inside linebacker Quan Alexander will likely miss the rest of the season with a torn ACL for the Bucs. 6th round rookie Jack Cichy would have got the nod, but then he also tore his ACL. So
Cichy.
Yeah, so good luck if you can figure that one out. But if you're in an IDP league and you're needing some help at linebacker, find the third linebacker on the depth chart for the Bucs and give it a shot.
Cichy.
John Ross hurts us so good, Matt.
Yeah.
NFL.com's Mike Garofalo reports that Ross will be sidelined a few weeks. Ross aggravated an existing groin ailment in Week 7, and the number 9 overall pick of the 2017 draft simply cannot stay healthy. Ross has 7 career catches. He can do that with both hands.
Yeah.
7.
Yeah. Is that more than Devontae Parker?
My goodness. He has less catches than he does as overall pick in the NFL draft. Oh my gosh.
Whoa. What a
That's Laquan Treadwell stuff right there. Yeah. That's bad.
Oh, but Treadwell this year should give you hope that he can be okay. Ross can come back.
This week in Jets wide receiver news, Terrell Pryor was released. Rashard Matthews was signed. Quincy is out. And Jermaine Kearse is coming off of a 0-catch, 2-target game.
Yep.
Give me Robbie Anderson or give me death. Matt?
Yeah. Until he tells you what he wants to do with your wife. Yeah. That's your only option.
That's an ugly, ugly group of wide receivers there. Terrible news. I got one last story for you.
Okay.
Here's a guy you may want to trade for. Okay? Traquan Smith.
Yeah, I don't disagree with this.
Smith played 52 of 71 snaps. That's 73% for all you nerds out there.
Whoa.
In Week 7 against the Ravens. And Smith was always the most likely option to take over for Ted Ginn. Or is it Ted Ginn? Ted Ginn. And that is exactly what happens, as Cameron Meredith was limited to just 18 snaps and 0 targets.
Yeah.
Smith only managed 44 yards on those 3 catches in the tough matchup, but the rest of his season outlook has to be pretty strong.
He's the clear wide receiver 2 in New Orleans.
There's a lot of people that just look at the stats that happen.
Right.
They look at, your yards, your touchdowns, your catches. Then there's a group of people that really look at all that plus targets.
Yeah.
And then there's a group of people that actually look at that and then compare it to the rest of the team. Traquan Smith is like the best buy low option right now in the wide receiver category.
Yep.
You can get Traquan Smith for fairly cheap. Fairly cheap.
You're not trading for fairly cheap. I'm not trading for fairly cheap.
No, but there's guys that will.
People that know what they're doing aren't going to do that.
Traquan Smith in like redraft leagues isn't rostered right now.
No.
So Traquan Smith in dynasty leagues, he's affordable.
Yeah. I mean, what are you trading for Traquan Smith?
I think you can get Traquan Smith for a second and a guy. A second and a need. I think you can get Traquan Smith. If you're a championship team or rebuilding team and you have a surplus of first round picks, I don't know if I'm willing to give up a late first for him. But I don't think I'd really throw out the idea either.
Because once Breeze is gone, what's he become?
Taysom Hill's big target.
I've been on that Taysom Hill train. I think we've got an episode or 2 where I've talked about that. But
I own him in like every super flex I'm in.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
And I'm just holding on.
Smart.
Oh. See, I told you I had a lot of news.
That felt long.
I told you. That's what she said. I told you I had a lot of news. So we're going to take a quick break.
Yep.
Let you relax, rest a little bit.
Yeah,
we're going to come back and we're going to do Wager of the Week, Renshaw's Renegades, Scott Fish lineup, and then we're going to head home. Aight?
Sounds good to me.
Aight. Be right back.
Right. So last week, let's recap. We went with Ito Smith. Was owned in 40% of leagues. Now he's owned in 70% of leagues. So people are listening.
There you go.
Had a 6.5 point week last week with Devonta Freeman out. Also went with Raheem Mostert. Not as big a jump with him. He was at 9%. He's at 34%.
That's a hell of a jump, though.
It is a jump. It's a 25, 20. I mean, ish.
Ketchup and Mostert.
He had 11.8 points. Breda got hurt on the first carry of the game. Alfred Morris did okay, but he's still Alfred Morris.
Yes.
Mostert put up some solid points, almost 12 points.
Just like you drew it up.
Yeah, hey, counts. So this week I'm doing some reactionary stuff on one and kind of a skeptical add on other. So first Renegade, Martavis Bryant. Currently owned in 35% of leagues. I don't know if you know this or if you listen to the first half of the podcast. Amari Cooper has been traded to Dallas. So,
my bad. Sorry.
What are you doing?
Sorry.
I'm paying attention. Put your faith in Martavis Bryant as the Renegade of the week.
Dodgers and Boston are tied at 2, by the way.
I know. I've been watching. So Amari Cooper trade has created a void opposite Jordy Nelson, and obviously Martavis Bryant is the guy to kind of fill that. He saw 3 targets against the Seahawks before the bye, but played a season-high 72% of snaps and has upside if he gets the target. So he's the number one option right now to play. He's owned in less than 50% of leagues. He'd be a guy I own. This next one's kind of speculative. It's another wide receiver. A lot of talk, a lot of smoke coming out of Denver that they're going to blow it up and try to rebuild. And people interested in Demaryius Thomas, people interested in Emmanuel Sanders. Obvious benefit of one of those guys getting traded is Cortland Sutton. So... if those two get traded, they're great. If Thomas is moved, Sutton is like Demaryius Thomas Jr. He's immediate starter in that offense as a wide receiver 1-2 for Case Keenum. So he's my speculative ad. He's owned in 46% of leagues.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really?
That seems low.
It does seem low.
I mean, for a rookie wide receiver.
Yeah.
He was some people's wide receiver 1. Wasn't he your wide receiver 1 before the draft? Sutton?
I don't remember if I was that bold. I like Sutton a lot. Oh, before the NFL draft? Yeah.
Yeah, before the NFL draft.
Yeah, Sutton was. I mean, he's an amazing talent. And Denver should be thankful to have him.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really like the Martavis one.
Yeah.
A ton.
High upside.
I don't like Martavis as a player, but I could see him getting a boost pretty quickly.
I mean, the opportunities are there.
Yeah, it's just he has a Derek Carr problem. That's the only problem.
Oh, yeah. The check engine light has come on in that car.
You ready for Wager of the Week?
Let's hear it.
All right.
It's the Dynasty Dads Wager of the Week.
Matt, I am 5-2 on the season.
This is a lot better than wife picks.
This was a ton better than wife picks. This is wife picks on roids.
Yeah.
This is good. The record speaks for itself, but, I need to remind everybody. So, 5-2. Matt, before I begin, and before I tell everybody what our Wager of the Week is, I have a riddle for you.
Okay.
What do these famous fictional characters all have in common?
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yep.
Smokey the Bear, Yogi Bear, and Winnie the Pooh. I'll wait. Take your time.
Are they all nicknames you had as a kid growing up?
No. No, they're not. What they have in common is that they're all going to kick the Jets' ass this week. Bears by 7 over the Jets. That is your Wager of the Week. Chicago is on the most impressive 2-game losing streak I've ever seen. Lost to the Patriots last week and the Dolphins the week before that. But catch this, the Chicago Bears offense generated over 450 yards of offense in each of those games.
How'd they lose to the Dolphins?
450 yards, Matt.
Dolphins.
That is an elite level of production.
They don't even have noses.
On top of that, the defense isn't half bad. As a matter of fact, the Chicago defense is number 1 in percentage of drives where they force a turnover. You heard me right.
I just didn't know why you got turned over.
This defense is also top 5 across the board when it comes to stacking up against the run. Not exactly a strong suit for New York. And another one of the Jets' biggest weaknesses, facing decent football teams on the road, just doesn't work out for him. The last time this team won on the road was week 1, which we all remember was against the Lions, and it was clear the Lions just aren't who we thought they were. They were absolutely off the freaking rails week 1. Trubisky is in a groove, 3 games in a row with 300-plus yards passing, and this spells absolute disaster for a Jets defense that ranks 20th in the league in passing yards allowed. I know, 7 points seems like a lot to lay for a team that's on a losing streak, but hey, they are a much, much better team than the Jets. Feel free to make a bet, hibernate, and there is no need to sweat this one out. Bears by 7. Lock it in.
Yo, boo-boo.
Picnic basket.
Is it easier than stealing a picnic basket?
Man, I seen the line.
You're
I was
not worried about this one?
I seen the 7, and I was like, yeesh. And then I started, peeling back those layers. Peeling them back. And I'm like, oh, man, Trubisky has been hot.
Yeah, their offense is nice. That's a good offense.
That's a ridiculous offense. When you think Bears, you don't think that offense at all.
You think Cleo Mack.
Yeah. And I was like, okay, that defense is actually pretty damn good. Yeah. And then I looked at the Jets, and I was like, Jets are pretty damn bad.
7 points is a lot, though.
It's a touchdown and an extra point. I know. For records, my other, the other pick I was going to say was the Packers plus 9 to the Rams in L.A.
Ooh.
That is the biggest underdog spread that Aaron Rodgers has had, I think, since he was announced a starter in Green Bay. Something crazy like that. He's never been a 9-point dog.
Wow.
And if it was against any other team, I probably would have did it, but I was like, the Rams
look scary.
The Rams look untouchable. They're not afraid to run the score up.
No.
And it's just like the Packers have struggled against teams that the Rams have annihilated.
Well, Mike McCarthy's a terrible head coach, so
he's overrated. I don't know if he's terrible. He's overrated.
Andy Reid or Mike McCarthy?
What's the question?
Who would you rather
Kill one, marry one.
Who would you rather have coach your team?
If I had to pick one to coach my team, it's Andy Reid, because at least Andy Reid will get me into the playoffs.
Get you to the NFC Championship game and lose.
Yeah.
I don't know. That Andy Reid offense looks scary. Mike McCarthy doesn't know what he's doing.
Andy Reid's offense always looks scary.
I know.
It always does.
Yeah.
We got to talk about Scott Fishbowl, man, then we're out. We're running a little long today.
We don't really need to talk about Scott Fishbowl. I mean, we can.
Just do a quick update. Where are we at?
We lost last week by 6 points.
Of course we did.
We are currently 3-4, so we're not the worst team
a respectable
in the league.
3-4.
That in our division, that title goes to Dynasty Noobs.
Take that.
They are 1-6.
Psh, noobs.
Yeah. So we lost last week. We had Lamar Miller on our bench. Beathard hurt us, but it's Beathard. Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
wow, this is depressing.
It's pretty bad. So this week we're not starting Rodgers because he's on a bye. We're going to start Stafford and Beathard because Rosen looks like a pick-6 machine.
Yes, he does.
We got Crowell, LaShawn McCoy, Lamar Miller are our running back options. Yep, and probably McCoy if he plays, and Miller in that revenge game. Wide receivers, Keelan Cole, Taylor Gabriel, Alshon Jeffrey.
Wow.
Christian Kirk.
This gets uglier every week.
Cooper Kupp is hurt. Jarvis Landry.
I think Coop's going to play.
John
do.
Ross, Sammy Watkins, D.D. Westbrook. So, yeah, it got ugly fast.
Yeah, it did. Well, that's the joy of the Scott Fish Bowl, I guess. I mean,
Thank you.
Yep. You can't trade.
Nope.
Can't make real moves.
Nope.
So, got stuck. But anyways,
Yeah.
it was fun.
It's been fun.
It's week 8, but
we
it was fun.
lost our 2nd round pick and our 3rd round pick. Devonta Freeman is on the IR, so he's gone. McCoy has done nothing.
Yep.
So it's slim pickings for us.
Yep.
We tried.
We tried. At least we tried.
Yeah.
Bart Simpson holding that birthday cake.
Yep.
Yep. Well, that about does it for the show, Matt. Unless you got anything you want to add.
No, I'm good. Ready for week 8. It's a Cowboys bye, so this is the week that I actually get to enjoy just watching football and not being upset that my offensive coordinator doesn't know what he's doing.
And then next week, I'm expecting you to be hyped up because you got a whole week of Cowboys hype and Amari Cooper hype and everything to read into.
I think that's going to happen.
I think next week you're going to be jacked up. I don't know who they play, but it doesn't really matter.
There's a guy on Twitter that put, we have 3 of the top 5 guys at their skill positions. We got a top 5 quarterback, we've got a top 5 running back, now we've got a top 5 wide receiver.
That's ugly.
I'm like, please do not lump me as a Cowboys fan in with people like this.
Yeah.
We have a top 5 running back.
You
Yes.
guys are just like Husker fans.
No,
Yeah.
I am not.
See how many Husker fans celebrated that win?
Whoop-de-doo.
I know.
What are they going to do this week when they beat Nebraska School for the Blind?
Hey.
I don't know who they play, but
I don't care.
it's some nobody.
But they'll celebrate again.
Yeah.
They'll celebrate again.
They're ready to not fire Scott Frost anymore?
Yeah. Go blue. Well, until next week, guys. Peace.
God bless.
Thanks for hanging out with us on another episode of the Dynasty Dads podcast. Be sure to subscribe on iTunes and follow us on Twitter @Dynasty Dads. Visit us at our website, dynastydads.com, for articles, news, and notes, Dynasty Dads gear, and more.